Hi, my name's Colin Peevely,
And I'm Josh Alexander.
and this is the Out of Place podcast.
Together, we travel the country to bring you to a new destination with each episode.
From current events to crazy stories, we discuss just about anything and everything.
So follow along with each episode as we continue to be out of place. Hello, everyone. Today, we are out of place in our office because it is cold and wet outside, and we're here now.
Yeah, so whenever we're not able to film outside, most likely it'll be here, either in this room, our kind of conference room, or hopefully eventually we'll get it situated so that we can go in our studio room. But there was a problem with the ceiling, and we need to decorate the wall behind our couch. So,
But for this episode of Out of Place, for those who do not know the formula, today Colin and I are just going to be talking with each other about various topics. And in most cases, we also talk about the places that we are going to be. Today we're at our office. There isn't really much to tell besides that it is our office. We got it around a year ago. And we were
almost two, actually.
Yeah. Good Lord. And
Yeah,
we are now free of cockroaches. This is a big milestone for us.
That is a milestone and a half.
Yeah. Anyway, today Colin and I are just talking about different topics. And would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Well, first, I just want to say, this is the first time we've been able to successfully use these podcast arms.
Yeah, we bought these
because
like
this
a
is
year
not
ago.
our first podcast.
No, this isn't. Our first one was like a year ago, back in like the back room of my dad's old preschool.
Yeah,
and then that failed. Very hard.
Okay, it's not that it failed. It's just that nobody cared, and neither did we.
Yeah, we had no direction. All we did was eat cheeseburgers.
So now nobody cares, but we do.
Exactly. So at least
getting
there's that.
up there. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to
sure.
go next?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll start off with my like interesting topic.
Go ahead.
And then I'm gonna lead into my whole segment about Apple.
No.
Yeah.
We both have a segment about Apple.
Yes. This is the Apple episode. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is I found out that New York is now going to pass a law, or actually they have passed a law that is going to ban all selling of gas-powered cars by 2035. So it is going to be illegal to purchase a car that runs on gasoline in the state of New York.
That's
after 2035.
I have mixed feelings on that subject.
Yeah, go ahead and express.
So on the one hand, obviously better for the environment. All good there, right? I'm worried mostly about the phasing out of gas vehicles. How the petroleum industry is going to react to that. So love them or hate them, they are a big part of the world's economy. And when they tank and lose their money, where is it going to go? You know? And, people might argue that the money's going to go directly to the electric vehicle companies. Not true. Because the petroleum industry isn't going towards gas-powered vehicles. It's going towards the petroleum industry. So
I will say
I think it's all going to go to electricity manufacturing.
Yeah, I feel like power is going to become the new energy, I should say. It's going to become the new format. And you're still going to have like vehicles like large ships and airplanes that are going to have to run off some sort of petroleum-based fuel. But in regards to vehicles, this is going to be like the next phase. And probably by the time that we die, you'll probably see that a good majority, if not all the vehicles on the road are electric.
See, I'm torn because on the one part, I really like electric vehicles and wish that we had a lot more of them. However, I think that to switch everybody over forcibly right now is irresponsible because we are barely producing enough electricity for what we're doing right now. And when you take the country's, I guess they're the second biggest city now. I think Los Angeles is the biggest city now. So if you take the second biggest city and make them all charge their car. I mean, to be fair, in New York City, like a lot of people don't actually drive cars, but still.
Well, I think I may be incorrect, but I feel like it's the state of New York.
Oh, the whole state of New York?
Yeah.
See, that's even
New
more.
York Senate Assembly passed the bill, and it's
See,
signed by the governor. So I think it's the state of New York.
see, that worries me because, like, where are they going to get the electricity from? Like, seriously, I think people right now think that electric cars, you plug them into the wall and it's like magic. It just charges, but it's not magic. Like, it's got to come from
I
somewhere.
don't know the whole. Basically, I'll read more into the story, but basically, it's a part of New York's initiative to like have an 85% reduction. I'll read this. The move is to help reduce the state's greenhouse gas emissions by 35% and help it achieve its climate targets, including 85% reduction in GHG emissions by 2050.
Yeah.
So basically, New York's just trying to cut down on their emissions and their footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I can't remember if there are any nuclear power facilities. I feel like there's one in New York.
I don't think there's any in New York.
I know there's one in Virginia or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but
I
don't
think
know
all
how
of
their
our nuclear
infrastructure is.
plants are out west.
I want to say there's some that are east. I may be wrong, and I may be completely wrong on that. But again, this show isn't about factual evidence. You can Google it.
I'll Google it.
Yeah. Anyway, while we're waiting, I now want to talk about our Apple segment because you and I yesterday sat and watched the new. I guess it's the first their California streaming conference, Apple. And this isn't related directly to that, but this moves into my segment about Apple. Is that Apple iPhone has just signed a deal, blah 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 blah, with the United States government, allowing it to hold your driver's license. See, there are some on the East Coast.
Oh, okay. So I was directly wrong.
A lot of them on the East Coast because it's based on
all
rivers.
of them except for 3 on the East Coast.
It's based on rivers,
cool.
so you have to have like a river right there.
I'm smart sometimes.
So maybe there are some in New York. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, Arizona and Georgia are the first states to adopt the feature, with Connecticut, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Utah that are going to follow along. So basically, you don't need to carry your ID anymore. You just have to have it in your phone. So I don't know how it's going to affect you because you have a Samsung. You can keep your ID on your phone now. So like you have your credit card on there, you have your ID on you. They're basically just trying to eliminate the wallet altogether.
So are you saying like
it's a proper legal form of identification?
Are you saying like a digital copy or a digital photo?
Like a digital copy. So like it's your identification, and like the Apple Smart Wallet. Yeah. It's like one of the cards in there is going to be your federal identification.
Okay. So it's not like you have a picture of it on your phone. You're like, hey, here's my ID.
No, it's like
they have a thing that they can scan.
Yeah. But Kentucky's one of the few that are like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
So
that'll be interesting. I don't really know how it works on Apple because I don't really use like any of the wallet stuff on Apple. Yeah. But like, I know like on Samsung, you have like Google Pay, which is kind of like a wallet, but I don't know if they would be like you can have that. But I know you can put every card and including gift cards and all kinds of like coupons and stuff on it. So I wonder if it'll be just the same thing.
Again, we'll just have to kind of wait and see, but I know that was kind of a big thing that was announced and it's going to happen, but I feel like I should bring that up. And I will move this into your segment about Apple as well. So what do you want to talk about?
My segment about Apple is I felt like their presentation yesterday was a complete flop.
Here we go. Mr. Tim Apple.
Mr. Tim Apple. There was so much hype about this California streaming event. And what even was announced? It was just their new models.
New iPad mini.
Yeah, it was
new iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro.
But every single thing that they announced was not a big change. It was a minor, if not just cosmetic change, really.
Yeah, it wasn't a push. I thought one big thing that they were going to try to do with this release is I thought they were going to officially like kill the notch.
Yeah.
But no, they were like, we're keeping it. So the big things I kind of took away from that was the big segment regarding like Hollywood in your pocket.
That was so stupid.
Yeah. The big thing that I wanted to think about, and being like somewhat introduced into the world of like videography and photography in regards to that, is that I think it's a cool feature, but again, I've said this before, if you are a filmmaker, I would rather go out and spend what is like $1,000 like entry price, $1,000 on like a good camera and a good lens and learn how to use those than go out and spend $1,000 on a smartphone that has like touch
Well,
to tap
like,
focus. You know?
yeah, and I agree with you. But the thing is that they're not aiming that part of it to actual serious filmmakers.
Yeah,
It's just a marketing ploy.
I know, but
You know,
it's the big thing of like if
people want to feel like they have the best camera,
I
and
know, but
they don't need a camera because they have their phone.
if
You
you
know,
were like if you were sitting there at home and you have like the iPhone 12 Pro and you're thinking like I need to get the 13, like I need to
don't
justify this.
don't don't just.
I
There's
wouldn't.
no
There's no
justification.
justification unless you want to get those new film features and that slightly better camera. But the whole big deal of that is like, if you are so interested in learning about film and making your own movies, spend the money, buy a camera,
Yeah,
be done with it. And I think that is kind of where you should go if you're getting into
because
that
in
space. And maybe
all,
that's a bad opinion. Maybe that's a bad take. I think technology is cool. Advancement of technology is
Mhm.
cool. But in regards, if you are a filmmaker, I would not purchase that phone. I would just buy a camera.
Yeah, because in all honesty, a cheap camera is still going to be better
Mm-hmm.
than using an iPhone.
Yeah.
It like you may not get all the fancy smart features that it has, but you're going to have complete control over the camera.
Mm-hmm.
If you break your phone, you're not going to lose your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa, if you break your camera, you're not losing your phone.
Yeah.
Um, and not even to mention if you get one with, because I mean, you can still get pretty cheap cameras with
Oh, you can get
interchangeable lenses.
easily.
You're going to be doing so much more with that.
And also, what would you rather have on your resume? You've made a film with a DSLR, or you've made a
Yeah.
film with your smartphone.
Well, not even just that. It's just like we're not to the point where smartphones are even going to compare in people's minds.
Yeah.
Which which is why it's so frustrating to see Apple trying to do that.
They're just trying to come up with things, and it's hard because that whole iPhone line has kind of been shut down to the fact that like after the 11 Pro Max, there really has not been like a major jump. Like there's been the night mode, there's been
Yeah.
center stage, there's been the AR stuff, but I mean there's nothing intensely revolutionary. And I think that's kind of where Apple is. Apple right now is about making these like incremental changes that are like going to kind of make it a bit better
Mm-hmm.
to kind of justify like, hey, you could upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a cool feature here and there, but like it scares me because I'm really excited about the new Mac launch and I don't want it to just be slightly better
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to hurt
And
me.
see, now this directly leads into my next thing.
Go for it.
I want to ask you, do you think Apple as a whole is revolutionary
Anymore? I will say this. I think that they shouldn't be counted out of the fight completely, but in comparison to the strides that they were making coming like through architectures and moving into like foundational technology, I would argue that Apple right now is not as revolutionary as they used to be,
Mm-hmm.
but I still think that they do have some departments where they're trying to make strides. And I think the biggest one is ARM. And I think that's the truth. Because no one's out there doing it right now.
Compared to the things that they've done before, they really have not introduced anything super mind-blowing since like I would have to say probably 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
It's just kind of been like, what small changes do we want to make to the thing we already made good?
Yeah.
Which I think defeats the whole purpose.
And the big thing that I've always like had trouble with Apple, especially compared to like the newer computers and the newer technology coming out, is that what you see is what you get.
Mm.
There's nothing you can do about it. You can't upgrade it. You can't fix it. Like the computer you have in front of you, same computer I have, you could do a whole bunch of stuff to it to upgrade it. Now, the only thing you can't really you can even upgrade the processor in that one, I think, and at least in mine, because I can take your motherboard and put it in my computer if I really wanted to.
True.
Yeah. But it's just Apple as a whole is kind of, at least this is my take being a consumer of their products for pretty much my entire life, is they've definitely slowed their roll and they've moved so much more from an electronics manufacturing company to a lifestyle brand. And I think that's the truth. They are a lifestyle brand.
I think there's about to be a wave of change for them, though, because of all of the right to repair heat that they're going under right now. I think they're going to have to change, and I think that might be the kick that they need to like actually start making good stuff again.
They should just turn the framework.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if
you want to talk about, I love framework.
Okay, the framework laptop for the uninitiated is essentially a laptop that is completely built on the right to repair movement. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically the idea that you should be able to repair everything on your own. And if it's too advanced for you to do, you should be able to take it to somebody down the road for them to fix it.
Yeah.
And I personally fully support it. So does that man right there.
I very much support it. I support right to repair.
It's very sad to see companies purposely make it so that you can't, once you break it, you have to buy a new one.
And I think
it's honest. And the funniest thing is that the companies that like purport themselves to being like the greenest companies
it's exactly
are
the point
all
I was
making garbage that once it breaks you have to throw away. This includes Apple, pretty much every smartphone manufacturer, pretty much every small electronics manufacturer now.
Yeah.
John Deere.
John Deere's a huge one.
Like the agriculture business, like
it's
you are not allowed to fix like your tractors anymore.
No, it's illegal.
And like it's such a big deal because farmers are used to being able to just go out, break it in the field, and be able to fix it in the field.
Take the tools out there and fix it. But no, you can't do that anymore. And one thing that you pointed on that I really wanted to talk about was the fact that like throughout Apple's presentation, like the other day, how many times did they go, and this is made with 100% recycled aluminum?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you're going to throw it away the minute you break it.
As soon as it breaks or as soon as the software is not supported for anymore, because that's the issue I run into with my computer. Yours is a 2012. It can go all the way to the newest operating system. Mine can't.
Yeah.
Mine can't go to Mojave. It's stuck. Like it's fried. It's a brick after High
Sierra. You can
Sierra.
actually trick
I know
Apple, but it doesn't always work. But
yeah, I know. I've done the Mojave trick. My whole point is that like Apple is insisting to be more of a lifestyle brand and like try to portray themselves as like this big eco giant who is like, and they are, to be fair, they are using recycled aluminum. They are using recycled rare earth metals. But at what point do you stop producing more and you can just produce a product that lasts?
They're trying to make a more eco-friendly version so that when eventually you brick your device, you can feel good about buying 100%
you
feel less
recycled
bad
aluminum.
about throwing it away. But like the thing about right to repair is that there's people like making valiant efforts to try and fix the things that are unfixable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that you can send your iPhone and your Mac to that'll actually be able to fix it, even though they got to go through crazy lengths to do it.
It is.
But like there's still people out there doing it, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
But anyways, the framework laptop built on the right to repair movement is essentially a laptop that everything in it is replaceable. Everything in it is fixable, and everything can be taken apart with pretty much the same size screwdriver. They gave you extra screws inside the computer.
Yeah, that's right.
And on every single part of the computer, there's a QR code that you can scan. They'll show you where to buy the part, how to replace the part, and basically everything that you need to fix your laptop in the computer.
In the computer.
On the part.
Yeah.
You can even take the bezel off. It's it's magnetic.
Talk about the upgrade modules.
Now the upgrade modules. Now this is where this laptop goes from cool right to repair laptop to just cool laptop in general. Essentially, you've got 4 USB-C ports. Not that interesting.
Yeah.
That's a MacBook.
That's a MacBook.
Except that they're like all the way inside, and you slide these little cartridges into it, and you get different things that you can use.
There's like a display port, there's a HDMI,
There's an extra
USB
like
Type A.
250 gig
Yeah,
storage
there's like the
thing.
whole like storage
Yeah.
compartment. That's really
And
cool.
there's like
And I think they're Thunderbolt. They're either Type C or Thunderbolt. And if they are Thunderbolt, then that means that like
they are Thunderbolt.
yeah, so that means that little
Yeah.
like cartridge that goes into it is going to have intense
Mhm.
read and write speed, which is really good for people who do like extensive editing.
The funniest one is the USB-C one
Mhm.
because it's USB-C to USB-C. It's funny, but
It's like Spider-Man pointing at
Yeah.
Spider-Man. It's like that.
and then you got like USB-A. You even got micro SD card
Yeah.
readers and SD card readers. Essentially, they're going to get to the
And can we
point.
please point out it ships with the laptop?
Oh yeah, you
It
can
comes
order it
with
with
the
the laptop, but not even that. You get a choice of which ones you want to get with the laptop.
Yeah.
Not that you have to buy them extra with the laptop, which you do past the ones they give you. I think they
Yeah.
give you like 3.
Yeah. I want to say so.
No, they probably give you 4 because that would make sense because there's 4 ports.
Yeah. I've only read into it like a little bit, and I saw a few reviews about it
Yeah.
because I was interested about it because it looks really cool.
But the thing about it is that if you really support the movement, and by the way, these are not terribly made laptops. These are as solid as the MacBooks are.
I would
pretty
say
much.
yeah, they're equivalent to like a Dell XPS.
Besides some parts of like the fitment of the modules, like there's sometimes like gaps in between it. That's mainly the issue that most people are finding right now. But besides that, like it's as solid as the highest end MacBook that you can get as far as build quality goes. But you can switch out things and make it more modular, and you have more control, and you can fix it, and you just unscrew it when it's broken.
Yeah. Flip it over, fix it. It's the way it used to be.
Very cool.
It's really cool.
It's expensive right now because they're a small company.
But hopefully
One model
that'll
is 1,000, and the other model is 2,000.
Yeah. But if you get into like comparisons, though, I mean, before M1 Mac, like that was equivalent to the prices before then. So again, it's the whole big disparity in the tech market.
And really the thing that I hope happens is that during this right to repair movement, Apple gets under such heat that they unlock their OS. Because that would be, honestly though, that would be the biggest moneymaker they could do is unlocking their OS and letting you do it on any computer just by buying it. Like, honestly, people would probably pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
the issue is that that's going to stop them from buying their $2,000 computers. You realize that?
Yeah,
that's
but
a huge.
Does
market
it
disparity.
matter if they're buying the computers when they're getting new people to buy their product that they might not buy their computers?
Yeah.
You know, like the people that are going.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, if
use
you
Windows.
if you want to buy Mac OS, you have to buy a Mac.
Yeah, but my argument is, I personally think that they'd make more money because they would be selling to people who don't want a MacBook but want the Mac OS. That because I truly believe that the people who buy a MacBook want a MacBook for the most part.
I wouldn't say that because the reason I'm looking at getting another MacBook and one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this new event is because I am a Mac OS user. I've already told you my caliber, and we can't talk about it on this show in regards to Mac OS X, but it's a disparity in the market, and I feel like Apple is intentionally doing that because they know that people like Mac OS, but they're just keeping them forced on their platform.
I still think they'd make more money if they would unlock it and let.
I understand your point,
but
I don't agree. But I definitely think that
because. Not saying anybody here has done this, but if someone were to make a Hackintosh, right, like, essentially a fake Mac,
you're gonna incriminate me.
You know,
I haven't done that.
They are going to figure out a way to use it without buying a Mac, so it doesn't matter. That's my argument.
But in addition to that argument, may I add, hypothetically, if someone were to build a Hackintosh, the issue with Hackintoshes is that there is not NVIDIA graphics driver support after the 1080 Ti.
It's very specific information you have there.
I read it in an article. Anyway, moving on. What's your last topic of today?
What's your turn?
That's it. I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah.
My last thing to talk about is where we're going next. I want to discuss that with you and with the people so that we can kind of figure it out and maybe we can get a sneak peek on where we're going next.
All right. Where are we going next?
I don't know how much longer we have of the summer-ish weather we have.
Yeah, we're moving into fall right now.
So as long as it's going to stay as hot as it's been this week, probably some shade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We're going to kind of keep in this area. The big thing is that we're not really going to be moving outside of our specific area around Lexington, Kentucky, and the Bluegrass region until probably spring and summer of next year, because we're going to hit winter season in like 2 to 3 months. Maybe someplace closer, but I think that
we'll just go to Texas.
Yeah, we're going to Texas. Next episode, Texas.
Next episode.
But yeah, it's just going to kind of be one of those things where we have to wait and see. I definitely think that as we get into November and December, I think up until October is going to kind of be our cutoff. After October, it's going to kind of be we're stuck inside.
Like this video if you want a podcast from the Mexican border.
Goodbye, everyone. This is the last episode. No, but we've talked a lot about kind of what we want to do with the show and kind of where we want to go and build Out of Place as kind of a brand.
So one question I have for you.
Yeah.
I know our thing is Out of Place and we go to a new place every time. Do we really want to restrict ourselves to a new place every time, or can we do a new place in a place that we've been?
So out of the places that we have been, there have definitely been times where we haven't been able to explore everything. And I definitely think by going to a new place or going to the same place and going to a new area, we'll kind of be able to explore that place a little more. So I'm not opposed to doing that in the future.
I think maybe next we should maybe do... I don't know. Do you want to stay closer or farther?
We'll figure that out after the show. I think that definitely we should leave the ambiguity of that. Like, we need to keep that secret information.
Okay, never mind. It's a surprise. You don't get to know.
You don't get to know.
All right, bye.
We just end. Okay, goodbye. No, we're going to Texas.
Yeah, Mexican border.
Here we go.
Maybe Mexico. You won't know though. You won't know.
With our new Apple
We're not
iPhone
going to tell
ID.
you. We're also not going to tell the U.S. government.
No, we won't. We're sneaking.
Yeah, we're going to
Anyway,
sneak in.
That has been this. It's a very tech episode that we had today.
Yeah,
Electrical energy, Apple.
I mean, we're inside, so we can't talk about anything other than being inside.
Yeah, I guess so. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and watching. Feel free to check out our subsequent links and stuff in the description. My name is Josh Alexander.
I'm Colin Peevler.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.